Happy Sunday, guys. The box office numbers for Q4 just came in. Let's see where we're at, and can we really hit 2.5 to 2.7 billion domestic box office Q4 2024? And while we're here, we're going to do a quick look at the chart, talk about the TA for last week on AMC, into expectations for this coming week. Let's get right into it. Box Office Mojo is telling us that the estimated gross domestic box office revenue for this weekend was $71 million, most of that coming from Red One with The Rock. Red One coming in at $34 million, a pretty respectable opening for that movie. I have it estimated at $83 million for its entire run. We are going to have to see if they allow Red One, being a Christmas movie, to continue to play through the holiday season, and it will if people continue to support the film. But with all of the other big names starting to hit the slate starting next weekend, it's going to be up to the audiences to decide if Red One meets my expectations or falls off. We did go see that movie. We really enjoyed it. I do recommend that one to you. And last night we went to go see Honora, that story of the son of a Russian mobster who falls in love with an American stripper, and the family over in Russia gets pissed and sends all the henchmen over to America to break them up. This is quite a good story, somewhere between a mix of Pretty Woman and The Hangover. You have action, you have comedy, you have drama, and you have some emotion. And I think that this should be one of your must-see November movies. That brings our total for Q4, with 6 weekends remaining, to $728 million. And I'm pretty sure we're going to beat 2023. But the question is, are all of these big titles that are hitting in the next 6 weeks going to get us to that 2.5 to $2.7 billion target that I have? Let's dig a little bit deeper. Coming up this weekend and available to be booked during the week, I already got my tickets for midweek. Gladiator 2 and Wicked. They are calling this the Get Glicked weekend. Gladiator 2, Wicked, you get it? Go get your tickets. And I noticed last night when I was booking Gladiator 2, some of the opening night screenings are already sold out here in my city. Coming on the heels of those two big movies into Thanksgiving weekend, we have Moana 2, which is projected right now to have an opening weekend between $100 million and $135 million. Hopefully the audiences love this one. I think it has potential to be also a good contributor to Q4. As we move into December, there are a lot of other great movies to see, but the big titles that everybody is looking forward to: Kraven the Hunter, The Lord of the Rings. This is an animated version, but that franchise has a decent following, so maybe that movie will do good. We will have to see. And hitting right around Christmas, we have Mufasa, The Lion King, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, ending the year with the Dracula horror mystery film Nosferatu. So getting back to this $728 million number for the Q4 box office, halfway into the quarter, I've had a few people ask me, and it's a fair question: how the heck do you think that the quarter is going to be good when you're halfway in and you only have $728 million? Before the quarter began, I carefully went through and looked at every wide release title and used research to come up with a reasonable estimate of what the box office numbers for all of these movies are going to be. And to this point in time, you can see I have highlighted in yellow the first box, $680 million. That is my estimate of where we would be at right now, including the full domestic run of Red One. So let's take 50 million out of that. 630 million is where we should be right now. And if we add up all of the box office revenues of the wide releases only, 633 million. We're right on schedule for where we should be. And again, this is not counting all of the smaller limited release titles. If my forecast is accurate, just on wide titles, $2.2 billion. And then you add in all the smaller films, the limited releases, it's pretty easy to see how you get to $2.5 billion in 6 more weeks. But my estimates must be correct. I'll have some that I miss on. There will probably be some that beat my estimates. And so I'm hopeful that we come close to 2.5 billion, 2.7 if some of these movies beat. And if one of them is a smash hit, then, 3 billion isn't out of the realm of possibility, but I'm not going to go on the record saying that number. Sticking with 2.5 billion to 2.7 billion. And as these next few weekends tick by and we get the box office numbers in, if I need to revise this number, then we will do that on the weekly update. I nailed the box office numbers for last quarter almost dead on. Stay tuned and let's see how I do for Q4. Moving on to the chart, let's talk about a couple of things that I'm looking at for AMC. We have Max Payne here in the center of the screen for this upcoming Friday at $4.50. And looking at the short interest highlighted in the top left hand of the screen here in light blue, around 14% for AMC on a general decline. And just so everybody's on the same page with me here, I use reported short interest for how I manage my trading decisions. I know a lot of people out there in social media tell you the data is fake. We don't do that here. I go by reported short interest. And I don't cover any stock as a short squeeze play if the reported short interest is under 20%. So if you're wondering why I'm not talking about short interest all the time, that is your reason. What do I look at for AMC then? Well, I look at the momentum on the chart for swing trading. I look at the financial statements, the balance sheet, the income statement, and the cash flow statement. And I listen carefully to what management is telling us they are likely to do. And as we know, one of AMC's primary stated objectives is to continue to repair the balance sheet. So I hope you guys are listening very carefully to what they are telling you. Do you hear me? Listen to what they're telling you. As I'm thinking about my TA, I'm thinking about those financial statements. I'm thinking about what the company is likely to do to repair those financial statements. I look at the box office too, and I try and make some projections about making cash or cash burn. Every week as I'm doing TA, I'm not just thinking about AMC's chart. I'm thinking about what is going on in the market that could affect every stock out there. If you're trying to do technical analysis and you're trapped in this belief that looking at a chart is as easy as trying to find algorithms repeating themselves, which we do not do on this channel, then you are likely to make mistakes. You need to think about what is going on in the market, what is going on in the economy, what is going on in the world, what companies are reporting earnings in the upcoming week that could affect every stock out there. We got some big names reporting this week: Walmart, Target, Nvidia, Intuit, Lowe's, John Deere, and a host of retail companies. So this is going to be a big week on earnings, and you guys know how earnings can affect market direction. Hopefully we get good news from these companies, but we will have to wait and see. On the chart, AMC has continued to stall out and find resistance around this $4.50 level. And if I look at the other theater tickers like CNK, IMAX, MCS, Marcus Corp, all of them have stalled out over the last week or so as well. I think that for all of the movie theater stocks, to get any of them moving again, the very best thing that could happen would be one of these titles or two of them as we go into the holiday season to be an absolute blockbuster and smash everybody's expectations. So I think the market is in kind of a wait and see attitude for all of the movie theater stocks. That's why they're kind of stalled out. And as we look forward, and it's time to start thinking about and looking forward to Q1, even if Q4 is excellent, Q1 is looking a little bit weak right now. I'm hoping that over the next couple weeks we get a little more visibility into what titles are going to be in Q1. But right now my forecast for Q1 is not really that hot. And if you're on Wall Street, you're not just thinking about Q4, you're thinking about Q1, and you're thinking about every quarter after that. Wall Street will punish or reward companies based on both the short term and the long term. And you have to be able to think in both boxes, guys. You can't just focus on Q4. I want you focusing on Q1 also. And then I want you to be able to look beyond that and think about the entire year of 2025. And looking into each one of these boxes may affect how you trade the stock, both in the short term or the long term. Some of you are swing traders. Some of you are buy and hold no matter what. But it's still good to take a peek in each box: Q4, Q1, entire 2025, and for some of you into 2026. Depending on what your time frame is, you might have different decisions that you make. And the other thing that I continue to be concerned about is the company reminding us over and over again that one of their primary objectives is to repair the balance sheet, which to me means there's going to be some more debt for equity swaps at a minimum. Unfortunately, I can't tell you the timing, but the best way to guess the timing is to look at the cash on the balance sheet and what is the cash burn, if any. We can hope that there's cash generated in Q4, but it's still too early to say that with certainty. We still have yet to see how all of these movies do over the next 6 weeks. And then we have to think about what percentage of the market share did AMC capture of all of that box office. We can hope that there's going to be good cash coming in Q4, but we need to think about, is there going to be cash burn in Q1? Because the company's going to be thinking about that. And I don't know about you, I only know how I think, but I think that it is reasonable to consider the fact that they might take some action to address cash burn in Q1 before they get there. And I want you guys to be thinking about that as you decide what to do. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching all the way through. I'm Tony Denaro, and I will see you on the next video.